Warning: this video contains what could possibly be a cursed poem. Please do not read out loud. Welcome to HellsHollow. In today's episode, we are taking a look at Tominos Hell. Tominos Hell is a popular Japanese story about a poem with the same name. It is said that you should only read the poem in your head and never out loud. If you happen to read the poem out loud, then you must take responsibility for your actions. Tominos Hell was written by Yamato Inuhiko in a book called The Heart is Like a Rolling Stone, and was included in Saizo Yasuo's 27th collection of poems in 1919. No one is precisely sure how the rumor started, one popular theory being that after a film was made based on the poem, the director, Terayama Suji, died shortly after. There is a warning that comes along with the poem stating, if you read this poem out loud, tragic things will happen. The story used to be very popular on 2chan, a Japanese message board, where people would post pictures and videos as proof of them reading the poem, and then stating what would happen after they read it. Many people claimed that nothing happened. However, there were many posts that never got an update from the user. If you are to read the poem out loud, it is better to read it in Japanese rather than the translation. I will now show the poem on the screen, but I advise that you don't read it out loud. Many are confused about what the poem is about, with many people making their own conclusions as to what the poem means to them. At face value, it is a story about a character named Tomino traveling through hell. The gender of the character is never stated, however it is assumed to be a male, as expressed by his love for his younger sister. The start of the poem lets the reader know that Tomino has thrown up his tamar, which is a shiny ball or bead. This draws a parallel to tamashi, meaning one's spirit. Tomino has thrown up his spirit, therefore losing it, and thus begins to descend into hell. Even though the hell imagery is clear throughout the poem, it is largely believed that he is not actually going through hell, but it is instead a metaphor for war. The line where it says his older sister spits up blood could mean that she is encouraging Tomino to fight for their country and to win. When his sister spits up fire, it could mean she is encouraging him in her own innocent way as he sets out. And then when Tomino spits up his tamar, he is giving his life for war. Already there is a lot of imagery being used and shown in the poem. A lot of the imagery used draws connections to the battlefield and the horrors that are presented within. Tomino notices the buttercups, the flowers that often grow between the rice fields back home. The poem also mentions Tomino hitting and beating, yet not striking at all, which reminds us how war is a waste of time. He cries for his younger sister, and as time goes on, he suffers more and more. There is one other factor that goes into the story. In the last few lines, it mentions how the red pins won't stand out. This could signify the senenbari that Japanese soldiers used to wear into war. This was a piece of white cloth, usually about 1 meter long, which was sewn with 1,000 red stitches from many different women. The soldier's family would usually sew these together with their own unique slogans and patterns, and were worn for good luck, meant to give the wearer courage and immunity from injury. It was also an identifying mark, so that the soldiers were killed on the battlefield, they could identify them and return them to their family. The final lines say that his senenbari does not stand out. If Tomino is unable to be identified, it not only means that he was killed in battle, but also that he won't be returned to his family. It is up to you to decide if this is a real curse or not. Many people who claim to have had things happen to them after reading it out loud are blatantly lying. However, many who have said they will read it out loud have never been heard from again. Remember, make your own conclusions. Goodbye.